Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Fight fans worldwide, you've tuned into the #1 undisputed boxing podcast today. This is the Boxing Breakdown. Now, your heavy-handed, hard-hitting host, Mark Roxy.
What's up, and welcome to another edition of the Boxing Breakdown. I am your host, Mr. Mark Roxy, and I am with my partner in crime, Mr. Harold Hunt. What's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How are you, man?
Hey, man, I'm always good, man. Get a chance to do this. Just a lovely opposite situation, rather.
Yes. It's a wonderful opportunity to be together, and it's a wonderful opportunity to be with you. If you are tuning in on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, thank you for being with us. And if you are joining us on YouTube, we appreciate it. Please don't forget to hit that bell, hit the like and subscribe, and throw your comments in the box down there below. You can also do the same thing on Facebook Live. We really appreciate it. And thank you for being with us. And without further ado, man, this is going to be a great breakdown tonight, man, because we've got an interesting outline. We're going to talk a little bit about the Tszyu versus Charlo potential matchup. We're going to talk about Canelo and his inking of the PBC deal. He's scheduled to fight Charlo as well, and he's got like a 3-fight deal. So we're gonna get into that, and Harold's gonna break that down for us. And then we're gonna talk about Carlos Adame. He defeats J-Rock last night in a controversial win. So we're gonna explore that a little bit, and then we're gonna get into the Berlanga and Quigley fight. And that's going to be our program, okay? So buckle up, brother, and get ready for a great boxing breakdown. Harold, let's get into this Costa Tszyu. Talk to me about Costa Tszyu. What you got?
Well, his name is Tim Tszyu. His dad's name is Costa, of course.
That's right. Sorry about that.
But I can understand the confusion because they look so much alike. I mean, the only thing that's different is Tim doesn't have a little rat tail hairdo type thing that his dad does. But I'm telling you, the facial features, the way they move around the ring, and all of that is really very close to the father. So, but right now, he is the hot little thing over here in Australia. He's the best schooled fighter I have ever seen come out of Australia, rather. His father obviously was well schooled, so he was sure to pick that up. But he's the best looking fighter I've seen. And no disrespect to anyone else that came out of there, but he looks really, really good. So he stayed busy waiting on Charlo's hand.
Okay.
And by doing this, he did a couple fights. He beat Harrison, and he beat this other guy. Now, the guy he just beat, he took him out. He was supposed to take him out. The guy, was B-side, however you want to put it.
Carlos Ocampos is who you're talking about, right? Carlos Ocampos,
Yes. Mm-hmm. But Ocampos, he did come to win. However, Tszyu just got on him so quickly, and he was not to be denied. Now, we haven't seen Tszyu hit at all, really, so we don't even know if he's really can take a good punch or not, but mentally he was on point. So if you saw the fight, you saw what he did. He just stepped to him, and he just stepped in there and took care of it. Now, what that sets up is an opportunity with Charlo. Now, we thought Charlo was going to say, hey, I want some tune-up fights too. I want 2 fights. No. He's coming right back in the fire. He's going to jump in with this young guy. Now, I watched some work that Showtime did on Charlo. It was like a documentary or whatever, and it was talking about his hand and what he's going through and this and that and the other. And really, Mark, he is mentally and physically ready. He's good. He's good. His investments is good. His mental is good. His body is good. His hand is good. He deserved to kind of have the layoff. He really did. So he's going to have an opportunity to go ahead and get with Zoo right away. Now, there's always ring rust, long time off. Your body's not used to taking punches. Your skin gets soft, because you're not used to that kind of thing. But the situation with him is he'll be in the gym with Spence and all the other guys, and he's going to get some good sparring. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hit quite a bit, very frequently, to kind of make up for that ring rust. Of course, ring rust is something you just can't shake off like right away, but he has the best chance, I think, to be ready and go right in with Costa Tszú's son, Tim Tszú, right away. So I'm excited about that fight, and I really think he's going to have an issue with Tim's going to have issue with Charlo. I believe he's going to have issue. He thinks he can do this, but the skill set that Charlo has is a little above him in my regard at this time.
Right, and you're speaking of Jermell. Jermell. Just so the audience can really follow along here. Little Charlo, yeah, they're both about the same size, but yes. And then let's just break this down a little bit deeper. Unbeaten interim WBO junior middleweight champion Tim Tszú, 23-0, 17 KOs. He literally devastated his opponent, Carlos Ocampos, who was 34-3 with 22 KOs. Basically, he took him out, he mutilated him in the first round. That was this past Sunday at the Gold Coast Convention and Exhibition Center in Broadbeach, Queensland, Australia. So it was over there, right? And I believe that Tim Tszú dropped this guy twice in the first round, and they halted the fight after the second knockout because basically Ocampo couldn't. He was so busted up he couldn't continue the fight, and Costa Tszú did a great job with his son Tim Tszú. And Tim Tszú's coming along, there was a lot of speculation early on with this guy and his career and whether or not he was going to be able to step into the footsteps of his father, his world-renowned father. And he's done a pretty good job thus far. And it's interesting to see how he's going to progress.
Yes. He's done that. As far as father-son follow-ups go, he seems to be on track. There's so many of them that have come along, and some of them are successful, some of them aren't. But he has a chance to actually fight for undisputed, all the belts at one time. He's earned that situation. He stayed busy, and he has a little thing going on with the wordage he uses. What's my F name? And that's his thing. He got the T-shirts. He's got the website. Everything is what's my effing name. So that's his thing right now. Yeah. And it's palatable somewhat, but you don't necessarily want the kids and the young ones to refer to him in that with that moniker. So he may change that. He may just go to what's my name, all of that. But right now, the emphasis is on the swear word, and that's very popular right now. But, if he happens to win, he'll get a publicist, and everyone is going to talk to him about possibly changing, that approach going forward. Well, if he loses, he's going to have to hold on to that and hopefully get back in the situation where it's relevant again.
Well, listen, man. First of all, Jermell Charlo is, he's a beast at, he's basically a beast. And I think that, Tim Tszú sent a message to Charlo, right? And I wonder, what are your thoughts about that? What do you think? How do you think Charlo responded to that kind of stoppage of Ocampos?
Charlo disregards Tim Tszú's work style, period. He has no problem. He's not afraid of. He has nothing. He's nothing. For him to take the fight immediately after coming out, before his hand got hurt, he knew he had that boy. He knew that the skill set was not going to compete with him, and that it would be a good payday, and he would win that fight. He knew that. He still knows that. Even with the knockout and the splash and all of that, people say, oh, nothing. Charlo knows he can beat that boy. Yeah. He knows that boy is not going to get to him. He knows it's going to be a good promotion. But for him not to want to take any tune-ups, to go right in with him after the hand surgery. And as I said before the hand surgery, he jumped. He said, I want him right away. Let's sign it up. So that's not even an issue. He's not even worried about anything ahead. Now, the media is going to try to pull the odds together. He may lose. This was a great opportunity to show that I'm showing you what I can do and all that. Not. Yeah. He will lose.
Okay. Well, we're gonna find out, man, because that fight, supposedly they believe that or Tim Tszyu believes that this fight can happen with Jermell in October. So, we'll just have to sit back and ride the Charlo Tszyu train and see if these guys actually lock horns in October.
Yes, Charlo is mentally cool. I mean, he's sound. And now that his brother is sound, got the Canelo fight, the $20 million, $25 million payday or whatever. So he's happy for his brother's come out that 2-year little thing that he was going through. His brother got a fight. Now he's got his fight. He's undisputed. Mentally, he's good. Financially, he's going to be good. He's ready to go. There's no distractions. No distractions. He is ready to go. And his whole demeanor. If you watch the documentary, you can see how he's matured. He realized I am a fighter. I am older, but my body's still in perfect shape. I have opportunity to really hone myself and concentrate on what I'm supposed to concentrate on and do what I'm supposed to do as a fighter, live my life as a fighter. He's been doing that, and he is coming into his prime. Man, he's going to walk over. He may not walk over him, but he's going to beat him decisively. Yeah. And we're going to see some changes in his demeanor, his approach, his work rate. All of that's just mental health is such a great thing, and he's got it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You make a great segue into the breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Canelo Alvarez allegedly has inked a deal with PBC to fight Jamal Charlo in September. So that means that both of the Charlo brothers are going to fight like September, October.
Yes.
They are going to be working.
Yes, they are. And it's a wonderful thing for both of them. Yeah. They've both gone through some mess recently. Both of them. And now they're whole mentally. So I am so happy for both of them. They still have great skill sets. They get hit enough to make good fights. They do get hit enough, but they got that dog in them. They got that something in them, that nastiness. They have it in them. And I've never seen them hurt. Mark, you ever seen them hurt? I've never seen them hurt.
We're not going to break the line of thought that you have right now by talking about when they were hurt, but because that'll send us down a rabbit hole about their chins and so we're not going to get too deep into whether or not the Charlo brothers have strong chins.
Surface conversation.
Yeah, for sure. No, because what I wanted to do, Harold, I wanted to get into, so ladies and gentlemen, Canelo Alvarez is basically he's the top of the heap in the boxing world right now. He has been for quite a while since he fought Floyd Mayweather Jr. And, he's pretty much been running the show since then. And as Mayweather predicted, when he stepped away, he said, Canelo's the future of boxing. He will be running boxing for a long time to come. And so what I mean to say here is he will defend his undisputed super middleweight championship against Jermell Charlo in September, likely September 16th. If they can have their way, it'll be September 16th. It'll be Mexican Independence Day weekend. And, that is the hubbubaloo on Canelo. Is it signed, sealed, and delivered? People, you know this program. It is not. And as soon as it's signed, sealed, and delivered, we will know. But the rumor mill is all over the place. This fight is happening. It's happening in September. And you heard it right here. Breaking news right down at the bottom. The boxing breakdown. So Alvarez, I think at the time, right now, he's 59-2 with 2 losses, 39 big wins coming by way of KO. He stuck a 3-fight deal with PBC, folks. He's got himself a 3-fight deal with PBC. And it's pretty amazing. I mean, Harold, what do you think about this 3-fight deal thing?
Well, he's going to take his bow out of boxing in a sense with the 3-fight deal. Now, he gets opportunity, possibly. He'll possibly, as we said, speculating, he should get Charlo first. Then he has opportunity to possibly get a hold of Benavidez. Excuse my pronunciation. Yep. Benavidez. And then I know this sounds off the hook.
Yeah.
Spence. If Spence wins, he may move up. And if Spence moves up and stays up there, Canelo will go there.
Right.
They will fight. If Spence is not the 3rd fight, I can't really speculate who the other one will be, but we're definitely looking at least those 2 because this is something that everyone needs. We know PBC does do this, and PBC will be open to work with whoever they need to work with. But since they've signed him, there is not going to be any problems. There's not going to be any backlash. We just have to see who wins what, how Bud and Spence comes out, and that type of thing. Now, the whole apple cart could be thrown up in the air if the 160 Charlo does the 168 move up and actually draws or wins that fight. Now, the 3-fight deal is still going to be hot, right, but Charlo can upend the whole thing. But I'm looking at him possibly doing well and enjoying that 3-fight deal. Now, 3-fight deal is lucrative, of course, because Al Heyman has no problem paying the person who is selling the ship, as he did with Floyd and all the other fighters before in the past, where he was really paying fighters well. So Canelo's going to be happy with this situation. The world is happy with the situation. The Latin nations all over the world are happy with the situation. And then the first time you get an urban a black fighter, if you will, to fight Canelo now. Now, yes, he did fight Mosley. Yes, he did. And he fought other black slick fighters. He did. But that was the thing on him. He's staying away from black fighters. He's staying away from the slick black fighters. He's doing this, doing that. But now, he's gonna jump in the murderer's row. He's gonna jump in with him. Benavidez fights like a black fighter, if you will, in a sense, the slickness and the power and all that kind of thing. So he is going to test himself against them at his later development in his career. Now, to me, he's slowed down some, but he's just going to be more forceful, I think. I think he's going to be, well, I don't want to break down what he's going to do, but I think he's going to be more in the pocket and more offensive at this point in his career.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I mean, there's a lot to break down about this, but I suppose the biggest news is that Alvarez has signed a 3-fight deal. It's huge news. It's coming out. He's going to fight one of the Charlo brothers, and you guys are not going to want to miss that fight. It's going to be the first of 3 fights. I believe that he just, Canelo, was signed with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, right? And that was for the last 3 fights that he just had. This guy just keeps running down. I mean, it's just amazing how he navigates his career. I mean, it's just phenomenal to watch.
It's great that he has opportunity to do so. He is a true free agent. Now we have to give it to Bernard Hopkins for starting this kind of thing. We have to go back further to Sugar Ray Robinson for allowing these people to get the opportunity. Of course, Floyd took it and ran with it, for the world to see. But it started really, really early, and he has opportunity. And as Floyd said, and as you stated, Floyd said this man's going to run the box, and he is. He's jumping to any promoter he wants to. He was at Golden Boy. Do what I say. He was at Hearn, do what I say. Now he's at PBC, he's not necessarily saying do what I say, but I like what you're doing and I will work with you. He's not calling the shots on Al Heyman. People don't call Al Heyman. Al Heyman calls you.
Yeah.
He could call Eddie Hearn and say, do this. He could call Golden Boy and say, do, but he can't call Al Heyman and say, do this. No, it don't happen. You sit by the phone, like the girlies do when they got a little boyfriend who's running the show, and you wait for him to call.
Right. Well, what is this thing about Maurice Suleiman coming out and saying last month that Charlo's inactivity is primarily due to mental illness? Do you know? Did you hear anything about that?
Well, yeah, that's always going to be nice fodder for the public if the optics look good and this and that and the other. Yeah, right. So why not? Why not say that? Why not either defend or deflect or point the finger, whatever? You just got to keep the whole situation relevant. You want the world to know, he's our champion. Yes, he hasn't defended anything in about 3 years, whatever. We don't want to strip him because he's mentally this and that or this and that. You just got to keep his name and the whole belt out there. You want to just not forget that he's a 160-pound champion. He's undefeated, and his last fight was kind of crazy. But now mentally, he's good. He's good as heck. He's great. He's ready. He's good. Yeah. He's good. Shields is his trainer. Shields knows how to deal with all this mental back and forth and the media and all that. He's been there, done that. So he has a strong ally mentally with Shields. So he's not floundering at all. Yeah. He's ready to go. So Suleiman, of course, I'm glad that he's keeping the whole thing out front. He's saying this, and mental health is a buzzword right now.
Right.
And he's doing what he needs to do to keep his belt and that weight class relevant with the WBC. Now the boy's going to go ahead and keep that 160, go up to the 168, either win or lose. Then he gets to come back down if he does that and defend that 160, or he'll stay up there at 168. We don't know, but he's still the 160-pound champion, and he's still undefeated, and his name still rings in every situation. Talking about the 160s, he's one of the champions. He got that, he earned that, he kept that, and now he's going to move forward to 168 and may move back down. We just don't know. We have to see.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. That kind of lays that out for the fans listening in. And one of the things I wanted to touch on is actually a couple of things. One is Alvarez, Saul Canelo Alvarez, right now, Harold, is ranked at the highest paid sports athlete. He's at number 5 in the world. What do you think of that?
As he should be. He's following the plan that Floyd put out there, right? He is such a commodity with these promoters. They're not going to have any problem with him. His endorsements are through the roof. I mean, when you have endorsements where you don't have to speak, you don't even speak English, but you're doing commercials in America. I mean, for American companies, and you're not even speaking. You're just you're like you're just on in the commercial. He can demand just his likeness. So he is extremely profitable in every situation. So he's in great shape. And all of his sponsors that are on his trunks, we don't know who they are. They're not American type sponsors. There's no one on his trunks that you can recognize as an American sponsor.
Right. They're all Mexican. Yeah, they're all Mexican. Mexico.
But they are dropping great amounts of money on him for years. So we're not even talking about his endorsements. We don't even know what those are, what those generate.
No, I mean, I think I just saw him do a Corona ad or something like that. But, the guy is in
driving golf carts.
In 2022, Saul Canelo Alvarez grossed, I think, over $110 million in 2022. I can't even imagine what it was in 2023. But the money keeps pouring in the Alvarez camp. So, all in all, I'm looking forward to that fight. I really hope they pull that fight off in September. No one gets injured. Everybody stays on course, and that they get this thing signed, sealed, and delivered. I know that Al Heyman has both of the Charlo brothers, but he also now has Canelo Alvarez, which, as far as I'm concerned, Al Heyman, you just continue to just trailblaze this boxing thing, and it's just amazing what you're doing. For real. It's just absolutely incredible how you're able to navigate through this stuff and create the biggest fights in boxing history. Really. It's incredible.
Has no peer. He has no peer.
No. There's no one. There's no one. There's no one. There's no one that comes close to his first of all, his way of moving is quite admirable. His way of moving, where most people, I would say 95% of people in the world don't even know who he is. And the people that do know him, most of those people have never even seen him or know what he looks like. And it's just incredible how this guy moves.
Yeah, I got a quick story about Al Heyman. I may have said it before. His brother was a fighter.
Yes.
He fought Sugar Ray Leonard. He was a journeyman. He fought Leonard. Heyman traveled with his brother and saw how his brother was treated as a journeyman fighter. He went and got several degrees, this, that, and the other, and he has a sympathetic eye for boxers. So because of that, he makes sure that the boxers are well taken care of from his own experience. Now, he's never seen, because his mom does not like boxing.
Right.
And he told his mom, I will not be on the screen. You will not see me. Right. I will not do anything like that because I know you don't like that. Now, that was because of his mom, but the allureness that he did, it kind of rolled into this figure, this larger than life figure, and then when the cameras did get some shots of him, it was like, oh, we're seeing Sasquatch, we're seeing the Loch Ness monster, wow, he really does exist. So part of it was respect for his mom. The other part of it, he's such a businessman, he knows that optics are one thing, but real power is another. And as we always know, he uses 3 humans to represent him. The 2 brothers and the father. Yes. Their names escape me, and I see their faces all the time. I've been in the ring with those guys.
We all see him. We all see him all the time, and we all know he's given me, he's caught me VIPs to tons of fights, and we can't believe we don't
remember his name right now.
It's just not cool. It's not cool.
But the
Sam,
point is,
isn't it Sam?
Sam Watson and his 2 sons. So what's crazy about it?
Sam Watson. Listen, I know you were listening to the program, Sam. You already know how this goes, right? Too many shots. We forget things all the time. I'm sure you do too. Please forgive us, Sam Watson, and we do appreciate all the comps. We do appreciate the tickets, front rows. All the escort. We appreciate everything that you do, Sam Watson, and everything that Al Heyman does to facilitate the boxing breakdown, being on the program, and being able to be in your arenas for your fights. So thank you.
Yeah, I just love when the fight comes on, you see him or his 2 sons, and there'll be 3 fights in one night, and you see one here and one there, and Sam someplace else. And that's beautiful to see because they're all under the umbrella of Al. But Sam's got his own thing that's hot. Believe that.
Oh yeah. No. Sam Watson's a real deal. And again, hats off to the PBC crew. Hats off to, inking this deal. If this deal is real and it's happening in September, and then we got another one in October, man, PBC's future is bright. They're going to have an amazing 2023-24 season. It's going to be incredible. So bueno, let's go. Let's move right along here, man. Let's get into this. Carlos Adame defeats J-Rock, bro. That fight was so controversial. It was an incredible fight. What were your thoughts? Did you get a chance to see the fight?
Yes. I saw the fight.
Tell me, Harold.
Well, my opinion is J-Rock came in with the right mindset. All the run-up interviews and things that he had with different commentators and writers and all that, his confidence level was like, yes, I'm going to come back. I'm going to show the world that I am who I am. Right. I'm going to erase all that negative stuff that happened to me with the loss and this and that, and I'm going to turn around and prove that I am it. I know how to decipher and break this guy down, and I'm going to be as beautiful as I was when I beat Hurd. So that's what he came in with. He came in with that mindset. Right. He looked like he came in with that mindset. When the fight ensued, he did do what he was to do initially, but he just simply got somewhat overwhelmed by Adams, if I say that right, his name correctly. He just simply just kind of outworked him, and he kind of beat him to the punch on several occasions, and seems like he was stronger. So he had his own agenda to win the fight. J-Rock had his agenda, and J-Rock was staunch in his agenda to the very, very end. Now, I don't know if you want me to go into the particulars on that, but mentally he came in there. But whenever you get beat after your mental state is solid and you still get beat, that's a loss. That's a serious loss, because you have lost your mental stance was compromised, and that's what I saw.
Yeah, no, I mean, for those of you that are listening in, this is Carlos Adame scores the 9th round stoppage of Julian Williams on Saturday in Minneapolis, and now he wants to be recognized as a WBC middleweight champion. Adame's 22-1 with 17 big wins coming by way of KO. Yes. He actually holds the WBC interim middleweight title. Yeah. And he told he told the press the other night that Jamal Charlo needs to be stripped immediately of the full-fledged WBC title he holds in the same 160-pound division. Thoughts?
He needs it will be good idea for him to calm down that type of a dialogue. And I say that respectfully because you don't want to mess with Sullivan. You just don't. He'll shelve you. He'll sit you. The interim is his baby. I can either elevate you or I cannot elevate you.
Right.
I can do what I want when I want. I mean, Sullivan can come down during a fight and tell the judges and count that as a knockdown. Yeah. Because I say so.
Right.
So if he had, of course he has the power to do so, to actually intervene on a commission type situation. Of course he's going to hold his own belt. So yes, Carlos, it's nice to say that once or twice and clam it up, because you don't need that. You need the opportunity. You want Suleiman to have favor with you. You want him to give you opportunity to do that. So just enjoy what you have. Be cool with it. Of course you're going to say that, and I'm not hating that. I'm just saying the more and more you say that, the more you could cause a possible delay in your opportunity to be the full champion. So I would just kind of chill right now, enjoy it. You said what you said. Let it be out there in the universe, and just wait for the man Suleiman to decide how and where and what it's going to be.
Well, at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen until the new year anyway. There's nothing happening anyway. Carlos Adames Bronco is not going to be able to, have anything with the Charlo boys, anybody, until the new year. So that's just what's going to happen, because if both of the Charlo boys are going to fight September, October, Carlos Adame, listen, his win over J-Rock, let's just get back to that. Let's get back to the fact that I believe it was the 9th round, and, J-Rock's corner was, very adamant that they're going to come on later. Part of their strategy was to come later in the fight. And to, because Carlos Adames has a history of slowing down later in the rounds, and, J-Rock and his team, their plan was to come on heavy later in the fight. And I think he was poised to do that. He had, they were talking about his second win. Their entire game plan was structured around, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's what it was. That's what, it was all about, right? So,
yes.
Yeah. So what happened in the 9th round was that, Carlos Adame was trying to finish. He landed a bunch of shots. He got J-Rock a little hurt. J-Rock was, on his back feet, stumbling back a little bit, but he was still there. And he was defending, and he was slipping and missing shots, and he was landing his body shots, and he was throwing shots. And at the very end of that, before the referee stepped in and stopped the fight, J-Rock actually pivoted and spun himself to the center of the ring, whereas Carlos Adame was up against the ropes. And he was ready to tee off, and the referee jumps in the middle and actually stops Carlos Adame, puts his hands up and protects Carlos Adame. And the optics, you talk about optics, Harold, it just looked odd. It looked weird. And then the stoppage seemed to be a little premature. I want to know what your initial thoughts were about that.
Okay. I watch referees all the time. I work with them, when I judge or whatever. So I see a lot of different things that they do. All right. Watching him, he decided and he saw that J-Rock was not coming back with anything. When he stepped in to actually stop the fight, he did not see J-Rock throw that left hand, that left jab. The jab had nothing on it. It wasn't powerful. It wasn't doing anything. It was just something that he threw to continue the fight. It had nothing on it. Now, when the referee went in, he went in with his back to J-Rock. So he didn't see that jab. Yeah. If he had saw that jab, maybe he would have let it go on. But the last thing he saw was J-Rock taking blows that were very heavy. And Carlos was really hunkering down and going hard and hitting him cleanly. Yeah. So he didn't see that last jab because he was going in to stop the work. So in my opinion, he did the right thing. That jab was nothing. It wasn't something that was even going to do anything to Carlos at all. It wasn't going to mute him, stop him, hurt him, stun him. Nothing. It was just. It was just a throwaway jab that happened to land. Now, that opportunity gave J-Rock the opportunity to smirk and say, "Oh, why are you stopping?" and all that. But he was behind on scorecards. He was getting beat up, and Carlos was coming on stronger and stronger and stronger. That adage that he was going to be weaker in the later rounds, that wasn't going to happen that time. Right. That wasn't going to happen. He was going to beat this boy down. That was that.
So a couple of things, Harold. Okay, let me see if I can remember these things, because I was making notes here as you were talking. Number one, for the fans, especially people who are listening in, Carlos Adame was ahead on the scorecard 78-74, 80-72, and 77-74 when the fight was stopped. So actually, what you're saying, Harold, makes lots of sense for the listeners, because, Carlos Adame was up ahead on the scorecards, on all the scorecards. And J-Rock, had both of his eyes were busted up, and he was cut as well. And he did look like, in about 30 seconds prior to that, he did look like he was on his way out. And so I think it just kind of goes to, when you're doing this type of fight, what do? By the way, the referee, folks, what is his name? What is the referee's name? Oh, God.
He did a great job, by the way. He did. The entire fight, he gave plenty of opportunities. He stayed out the way.
Yeah.
He was excellent.
Right. What is his name? Oh, Mark Nelson. That's Mark Nelson. That's right. Mark Nelson was the referee for the fight. So, anyway, the point I was making is, was it a premature stoppage? The trainer of J-Rock was very vocal.
Breadman.
He was very, very upset. He was incredibly upset.
And, he was.
Yeah, he was upset. And the things that he was saying was like, hey, look, if he's going to go out, this is a championship fight. Let him go out on his shield. If you think he's going to go out, this isn't an amateur fight. This is a professional fight at the highest level, and it's for all the marbles. Why would you stop it? Thoughts?
The climate that's been fostered by the referees in the past, the last 5 fights.
Yeah.
people are stopping early. People let them go too long.
Right.
The people aren't speaking to the press. People going into hiding.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you got so much. So the climate is like, be cool. Just preserve the fighter's physicalness.
Yeah.
That's what you do right now, because we can't let anything go on. So all the other referees, they don't want to be scrutinized. They don't want to be banished. They don't want to be called up on the carpet. They want to keep working. You know, they're going to be smart about the situation. Now, of course, they're there to keep the fires alive. Of course, do not die in the ring. That's it.
Right.
All right. So if they can avoid that, that's the side air they're going to go on. So they can say what they want, this, that, and the other. He preserve that boy's life so he can fight again. Now, Wilder said, I want to die in the ring, all that. We got the third fight, all that. J-Rock said, I want to. Man, he was getting beat down. There's no doubt about that. I mean, there's no changing that. He didn't have any power to shake that boy off of him. He just didn't have it. He was going to take that beat. Now, Breadman, I have to give it to him. He said what we need to say, but he cited A side, B side type politics, which is acceptable and it's something that you can say, and the public and the purists and everyone's going to say, yeah, I get that, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't go personally at the referee. He didn't go personally at the other fighter. He just cited politics that have been in place in boxing, A side, B side type stuff forever. So he's good. He's good. Yes, you're going to say something. Your boy just lost, of course. And he had opportunity to speak his mind on air. They gave him the mic. All that is positive stuff. Now, J-Rock can come back and fight again. He fought well. He just got kind of overwhelmed by a guy who said, I'm going to get this right here, and whatever you do physically is going to be below what I'm going to offer to you. Yeah, no, I mean, just to your point, total punches landed in the fight. Adames landed 160, while Williams landed 122. Total punches thrown, and this speaks, volumes to what was happening. 458 punches were thrown by Adames and 346 were thrown by Williams. They both equally landed 35% of their punches. Jabs landed 26 for Adames in the whole fight, 9 rounds of boxing, and Williams 14. So that gives you an inkling that the fight was being fought at, much closer. The distance that the fight was taking place was inside, anyway, it was inside. It was an inside fight. And then jabs thrown were 135 by Adames and only 81 by Williams. So, power, here's where we really start to see a takeoff, because the power landed was 134 for Adames and 106 for Williams. Power thrown, 323 of Adames' punches were power punches, while only 265 punches from Williams were power punches. And, that was by the way, that's CompuBox. That's not me. That's CompuBox, right? So that's what was going on in the fight. That's true. That was going on. So I don't really have any more to say about what happened, other than that, I was happy to see J-Rock back on the horse. I was happy to see a great fight, and I was happy to see another player in the 160 who was entertaining, fun to watch, and it was just good to see that division, the WBC version of 160, active again. Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, I concur with everything you just said. I do. I mean, it was an exciting fight. It was a valiant attempt by J-Rock, and unfortunately, it came up a little short last night. And but all in all, we're gonna just move right along here. We are perusing right through our next topic, which is basically the Berlanga fight that took place as well last night. And I should put up the breaking news
that I have here, because I did have my little, news update for Berlanga, who was able to defeat quickly at MSG. And let's talk about that fight, Harold.
Well, it was in a small room. Boom.
Yeah.
Number 2, he necessarily did not shake the world as he needed to.
You mean Berlanga?
Berlanga, rather.
Yeah.
He did not shake the world. His opportunity was, if he was to take quickly out, he could be in the Canelo sweepstakes.
Right.
He didn't do that at all.
Wow.
Then he took a lot of punches. He took clean, hard punches on the regular.
Right.
His defense was suspect. He got hit a lot. And he actually won the war but lost the battle, because his competition got accolades for surviving that last round, the last two rounds, and he's hanging on and he's getting away and he's taking punishment, and the ref's not stopping it because it really doesn't need to be stopped. Just the fact that he went through that is just going to he gets the accolades in the loss because he survived that situation.
Right.
But if you look back at the fight, Berlanga really needs to work on some defensive discipline, because he got hit entirely too much. And you can't fight in that manner. Now, of course, they're going to try to run him right to Munguia, which is a whole nother conversation. But he didn't do what he needed to do as far as getting the opportunity. Now, he sells seats. There's no doubt about it. And he's fun to watch. And at the end, he had the crowd all crazy and all that kind of stuff. But he got the short end of it because he couldn't get the boy out. He took too many punches, right? He looked kind of plodding in a sense to me, okay? And, he's still an exciting fighter. He's still young and strong, and he's fun to watch and all of that. I'm not. He just lost his opportunity to possibly get the be in the talk for the sweepstakes with our boy Mr. Canelo, but that's not going to happen now. So I see him maybe have another fight and maybe going to Munguia, but he's not a big player as they want him to be. He's not.
Yeah, man. Like this is the thing. Like you said, I think at the end of the fight, Berlanga spoke a little bit about, he gave himself a C, so the good news is that he understood that he's going to need to make some adjustments and he's going to need to be working on some things. Excuse me. That was very, very clear to him by the post-fight press conference. But I think that the thing is he, like you said, he set himself back, or like he really did set himself back, because, what he's really saying for all intent and purposes is that he needs to work on a lot of things in order for him to be in a position where he can take these fights. So I think that's an interesting thing for a guy that Top Rank's been trying to really push and move and get forward. Berlanga left Top Rank, right? And he's at Matchroom, I believe. That's correct. Yes.
Yes. He signed with Eddie.
Yeah. So I think when he was with Top Rank, they were really trying to push him forward and really trying to get him into a position where, he could get those big fights. And, now I think he's back with his old trainer too, as well.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, he is. Which dictated the plotting, I think, the looking for the knockout streak, the looking for that. And he just, you don't follow anybody in the ring. You cut him off, right? He followed him like a lamb follows the shepherd. I mean, he just followed him.
Yeah. Well, story of Berlanga and Quigley it's an interesting story, and there's a lot to follow here as, the team over at Matchroom tries to, develop Berlanga into an attraction that he very well should be. But there's a lot of work there. There's a lot of work.
He'll get a diet of European fighters.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's what he'll get. He'll get 3-4 European fighters.
Yeah.
He'll take them out or whatever. He can make money for himself and everyone else, and maybe a year, 2 years, he may get another shot again. Meanwhile, he'll be run like a Munguia.
Yeah. Well, Eddie Hearn did. To your point, Eddie Hearn did come out and say at the end of the fight that they were looking for Jamie Munguia. He called out a whole but Gennady Golovkin. And a whole bunch of other fighters that he, named that would be good candidates for Berlanga to fight.
Yes. He got the cachet to do so, but he's not going to put him into the top tier. No,
right.
I'd feed him, as I said, I'd feed him some European fighters. I wouldn't. I would. I mean, they got good names. They fight well and whatever, but he's better than they are.
Right. Well,
he'll win those fights. He may even knock a few of them out.
Yeah, what? You know what? This we don't know. We just don't know, brother. We just don't know with a Berlanga. Like these guys, sometimes they're wild cards. You just don't know what you're gonna get, right?
I'm either black or white, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Right
yeah, but and sometimes things can get very gray with some of these guys, but. Hey, let's round out this. We're just about at the hour of our program, and what I'd like to do is just round out this. Let's take a look at what we got coming up here, and let's just talk a little bit about these guys. So we got Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford coming up, and. July 29th. So come on, Harold, you got some stuff you wanted to talk about here.
I don't know where you want me to go with this. You want me to go to the next surface conversation on that?
Yeah.
Surface conversation.
I think we need to break this down. Boom, boom, boom.
Not now. This is still surface.
Surface.
Okay, still surface. Okay. Well, Crawford has been doing the press conference, right? And I'm sure as people have seen the little clips where he's speaking to Derek James and he's saying hello in a sense. And the street vernacular says when you say what's going on is different from what's up. What's up means we getting ready to do something. This is what's up? What we gonna do? But how are you doing or something else? That's a different connotation.
Like,
that was strictly
what's up.
He didn't say what's up.
All
he
right.
said, how are you doing? Something to that effect. He didn't say what's up. He said, what? No, he said what's going on. And what's going on is different from what's up in street vernacular. So he was respectful initially, but Derek James, in my opinion, he thought it was the other way. And Derek James was in this beautiful, $1,000 suit, and it was well tailored and all that. And he said to himself, he thinks I'm soft because I'm wearing this suit. But Crawford was just fishing mentally with the trainer to see how he was going to react to him and that kind of thing. And then when he ignored him in such a manner, thinking it was adversary, that's when he said, what he said. So all that is just great stuff. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I mean, James went his way, and when Bud said this, and it's viral. It's on all the clips, and it's beautiful work. So he's doing great work out there. He's got the public paying attention. He got the trainer involved in it, and all that. So it's just really, really good. He's doing good work. He is.
Yeah, no doubt. No, they both are. They're on their pressers. They're doing their pressers, and they're really animated, and they're I believe they just announced the undercard, right? Didn't they just announce the undercard?
Yes, I saw the undercard. Now it's somewhat underwhelming, if you will. I mean, you got Pitbull Cruz there rather, and he's fighting an undefeated guy,
Giovanni Cabrera.
Which is fine. You want to see an undefeated fight type thing, and Cruz does have a little cachet or what have you, so that's good. The next fight underneath that, I can't recall it, but that heavyweight fight that heavyweight fight is going to be a great fight. Yeah. Those guys are going to go. Somebody's going to go out in that fight, and they're not well-known fighters or whatever. But if you're peers, if you know them and you've seen their work, you know that is a good fight. That's a good fight. So hopefully, their names are not household names or someone know. But I think that very first fight is going to really get people involved in it because it will be a knockdown, drag-out fight. And that is the best fight to open it with. So whoever match made that, of course, you have the heavy hitters who put that together. They have done a great job with that first fight. The other two, I don't know, Pitbull, but the one after the heavyweight fight, I can't recall. But that the Cruz fight is good, and that very first heavyweight fight is good. Now the other one, I don't know. Mark, who are those two gentlemen?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, you've got the contender, lightweight contender Isaac Pitbull Cruz taking on unbeaten Giovanni Gabrea in a title eliminator co-main event.
12 rounds.
12 rounds from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. And then you got the rising superstar, super welterweight star Jesus Ramos Jr. battles tough Spanish contender Sergio Garcia in a title eliminator. Plus, this is what you were talking about. You got these two rising stars in the heavyweight division, Gurgen Hovhannisyan, and he meets a power punching Victor Faust in that's pay-per-view. That's a pay-per-view event.
Yes.
8 p.m. Yes. So I mean,
that's going to be great. That's going to be great. Now, the other fight, that's kind of a A-B type thing. After the heavyweight fight, that's A-B thing. A's going to win that fight. Okay, and you can say whoever A is going to be. I'm not going to say, but A is going to win that fight. Right. That's a walkover. Right. Cruz fight, that's kind of up in the air a little bit. I mean,
Cruz is he's a dominant subject in the lightweight division. So
right, but I mean, his name is more important than his actual skill set. So he's got to reiterate his skill set in this fight right here, because right now he's riding high on. He went to listen with Tank, and he's knocked out a few little people and that kind of thing, but. We don't know him as a skill set. We're not running around talking about his skill set, he does this. No, all we're talking about, his claim to fame is he went to distance with Tank, and Tank had one hand. And they throw out the fact that Tank had one hand. So, he's riding on that, not his skill set. So he's got to reiterate his skill set on this fight here. Like I said, the other fight, to me, just a walkover, but the heavyweight fight is going to get everyone ready to go. So I think the card is well done. It's a very expensive card. So these other guys aren't really, they're doing well, but they're not. Listen,
people are coming out for Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford. I mean, they're coming out for Errol the Truth Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford. I mean, that's really what's happening here. And, at the end of the day, this is going to be probably one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight in a long time. And, again, these fights, it's happening on July 29th. And it's a pay-per-view. The pay-per-view, I believe, begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and it features all those guys that we just mentioned, and it's going to be an interesting night of boxing. And I just, again, we've had a great couple of months. What were you going to say, Harold?
Yes, I want to say, month of July is beautiful. Each weekend, you have spectacular fights. This weekend, you've got Big Baby. Then you've got Baumgartner. Then you've got on the 17th, you've got someone else of great note that's worth watching. And then you've got that's Ennis. Ennis is on.
Oh yeah, Jaron Ennis, bro.
Ennis.
Philly's on.
So on the first, you've got Big Baby. Then you got Baumgartner. Then you got Ennis, and then you got these two guys. I mean, July is hot as man. You can have a fight party every weekend. Really?
No, it really is. You got Navarrete, who's fighting also in August, and Better Beaven Smith are fighting in August. Let's just go down the list here. Marshall versus Cruz DAZN on July 1st, right? Smith versus Maxwell on DAZN, July 1st. Anderson versus Martin, ESPN Plus, July 1st. Ortiz versus Stanciones on DAZN on July 8th. Ennis versus Villa on Showtime, July 8th. Kelly versus Corzo on DAZN, July 15th. Baumgardner versus Lindertwout on DAZN, July 15th. Martin versus Harustakzuan on Showtime, July 15th. Cambosos Jr. versus Hughes, ESPN, July 22nd. Inovo versus Fulton on ESPN Plus.
Oh, what a fight right there, boy.
July 25th. And then you got Estrada versus Uzica on ESPN on July 28th. Yo.
It's
crazy.
Just packed. It's just packed. It's just packed. And then, for me,
Spence and Crawford.
For me, I've got a local fight I've got to do here on the 27th on a Thursday night. A packed house. So, hey, I'm excited, about watching the fights, participating in the fights. It's just boxing is just hot, man. Hot. And the casual people, the ones who don't even know boxing, are calling me and asking me, well, who's Spence? Who's Crawford? I saw this. I saw that. So, all of that. And we're a month away. So it's just going to ramp up more and more and more and more and more. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. And Harold, it's been a beautiful night. It's been a great night with you. And thank you for tuning in. If you've been on YouTube, we appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash the notifications, all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe and smash the notification so you know when we're going live. And then also, if you are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or any of those platforms, please make sure you find us at The Boxing Breakdown. Follow us on Facebook, whatever, all that stuff. You know what you're supposed to do. We are on all the platforms, and we've got content up there. So check it out. And, until next time, we'll see you on the next episode of The Boxing Breakdown. Harold, peace and love. I'll catch you later on the post show.
Okay.
Peace out.
Fight fans, join host Mark Roxy and special guests as they break down all aspects of the boxing world, including news, business, management, training, promotions, fan reactions, upcoming events, matchups, future boxing stars, title fights, state of the boxing world, and all the stuff you don't see when you watch boxing. This podcast is released each week on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live streamed on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook Live. It's The Boxing Breakdown, hosted by Mark Roxy.
And Harold Hunt. Peace and love.